Oh yeah, here we are, R.E. Lee Camp Confederate Memorial Park. What's happening, guys? Chris, VA Travels, down here in Richmond, braving the elements, and just taking a quick look at the Robinson House. Historic home that was once part of the R.E. Lee Camp Number 1, kind of a retirement home, retirement center for Confederate veterans. Yeah, so pretty fine looking building. The sun's hitting it perfect. You'll see an Italianate building. Originally built around 1828, and at the time, almost got ran over. At the time, it was just a one-story building. It was a summer home for Anthony Robinson Jr. He was just a local banker here in Richmond. Upgraded 1856 and built in this Italianate style that was popular in the 1850s and 1860s. So whenever you see one of these cute-shaped buildings, you know it was built in that time period. But yeah, in the Belvedere in 1886, the third floor was added. So yeah, it's gone through a few upgrades. You'll see some nice brackets right there in the cornice. My hand's about to freeze off when you switch hands. I wish I could fly my drone to see the Belvedere better up there, and some pretty fancy chimneys, it looks like. Pretty nice brickwork. But when it was upgraded in the 1850s, it became the Robinson family full-time residence. And then Anthony's son Channing, in 1884, he sold it to the R.E. Lee Camp Number 1. I'll also tell you, in 1892, the camp really expanded. It was a huge campus, over 30 buildings. There's the Confederate Chapel on the other side. This is the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. I've got a little video on the Confederate Chapel. Cool little portico right there. You've got a walkout. Fancy ironwork right there. Walked over here to get a better look, and you can see the Belvedere better up there. I wonder if you can walk up there. And then I'm gonna walk up here to see if I can get an even better look. And we've got the statue of Neptune right there. Smaller one of the version on the boardwalk at Virginia Beach. But yeah, really good sculpture. All right, take a look at the broad side of it. I see a belt going around between the second and third floor, and pretty cool surrounds on those windows. And again, great brickwork on the chimneys and that cool Belvedere. Attachment on the back, looks like. But very cool. The side of the Robinson House. I'd also tell you, in 1941, when the Soldiers' Home closed, it was cared for by the Virginia Department of General Services. And then finally, in 1993, that's when it was acquired by the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. All right, let's see what's inside. You see the hours, open daily, 10 until 5.
Hey guys, just to give you a better explanation, this was the first permanent Confederate organization in the United States. It was to provide for the needy, often disabled Confederate veterans with no other means of financial support. The farmhouse here contained the home's headquarters and rooms for commissioned officers. Enlisted men occupied 10 cottages built on the property. Support buildings included a hospital, dining hall, recreation center, laundry, print shop, steam shop, storage building, workshop, and a chicken house. Chapel was built in 1887. And maybe one of these days when it's not so cold and windy, I'll walk the grounds, show you the remaining buildings, and just kind of point out where everything was.
So we've got a little interactive kind of timeline map here. And this is it in 1860. Yeah, it just looks like a bunch of open land. Here we are, Robinson House. We already know that. 1925, and this is when it's full on. Yeah, residential quarters right there. That's the Confederate Chapel I've already made a video on. Cool little fountain right here. Yeah, here we are, Robinson House. Hospital would have been right here. And this is that Battle Abbey. Again, constructed between 1912 and 1921. World War I slowed it down. And it was a repository for Confederate records and art. Oh, so we've got a timeline here. And this is when it was just that one-story building. 1830, Fort Anthony Robinson. Like I say, his summer home. And bam, this is when it was upgraded. This is 1860 when it turned into the Italianate mansion for his entire family. And then that third level was added 1886. Closer shot, the Belvedere and Weather Vane up there. Nice brickwork, like I say, on those chimneys. Cool little gable. Yeah, and I know some of you guys like to see floor plans. And the darkened area, that was the first floor from when it was just that one-story summer home. Put in a stairwell, it looks like. And just one more shot, a close-up from that 1880 photo of when it was called the Grove. And right before they sold it to the camp. Battle Abbey again. Aerial view of the Confederate Women's Home. This was published in 1934. Yeah, see Greek Revival building. Yeah, a couple wings on it. Here's a better picture of it. And you'll see those ionic columns, big fat ionic columns, and they're technically not in the proper Greek order. That column would be thinner and technically would be fluted. And there also would be a base to it if it's ionic, but just being nerdy. But pretty cool balustrade up there. Postcard of it, circa 1930, published by the Richmond News Company. Over here would be the United Daughters of the Confederacy headquarters, 2015. All right, some information over here on the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. Originally built in 1936, and looks nothing like it does today, but yeah, this was it in 1940. Let's see what's back here. Okay, I see William Byrd. Yeah, this oil painting is from 1724. 1679, the Virginia Assembly gave this land as part of a large grant to the prominent trader and militiaman William Byrd. Anne Robinson Duval, granddaughter of Anthony, the original owner. Pictures from March 20th, 1964. And she's attending the opening of the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts Art Annex. And yeah, you'll see this marble mantle right here. Dates back to the 1850s. Oh, here he is right here, Anthony Robinson, circa 1861. Prospered as a cashier for the Bank of Virginia. He died just a year later in 61. Okay, and here's his wife, Rebecca. Again, 1860. Okay, here's that marble mantle that we saw in the picture. And a matching one over here. And I wonder if these rooms were the parlor and they might have had pocket doors right there. I don't know. Just guessing, but okay. Richmond, 1834. Oh yeah, see the Capitol back there? 1954, looking north. And this is during its occupancy as the Virginia Institute of Scientific Research. 1959, Fontaine Armistead. He's showing off the protective shower feature outside of the second floor lab. All right. Council members Susan Crowell and Elizabeth Buckle. Oh, also Mary Wall Franklin. Here we are, circa 1970. Map of Richmond all gridded out. It says the town of Sydney. Oh, so what happened is that John Harvey Jr., who was Richmond's fourth mayor, had acquired 1,200 acres from the former Byrd property west of the city. During a frenzy of real estate speculation, his son Jacqueline and two business partners set aside 540 acres to create the town of Sydney in 1815. All right, didn't know that. Oh, so just 3 years later, 1818, A financial panic halted the land boom, and the land was sold off cheaply after that. Development stalled for decades. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were enslaved workers on the property. It doesn't say how many. But a photo here of a family. This is from 1862 at the Gaines farm. So I'm not sure if that's here, if it's just a kind of a photo. Okay. So bronze plaque out here. And two of these were mounted in the 1920s on pillars flanking the facility's Grove Avenue entrance. So there they are. CSS Virginia. Ironclad right here. Here we go, color guard of some camp members, 1913. And this photo, it's a reunion from 1911. It says right here, 13 years after its formation, the Lee camp boasted 500 active members and a new meeting hall. Yeah, so I guess this was it. Yeah, you'll see for meetings and special occasions, veterans wore camp badges and commemorative ribbons. Oh yeah, Lee right there, I couldn't tell. All right, so it looks like these are some residential buildings. And postcard from 1910 right here. And again, it officially closed down in 1941. And here they are, derelict cottages awaiting demolition. This is 1935. It says at the peak enrollment, there were 300 residents living here in 1912. But by 1925, there were just 167 veterans. By 1930, 62. Half of them were hospitalized. So, yeah, like I say, everybody's just kind of passing on. Yeah, there they are, razzing the cottage. 1923, and yeah, you can see everybody. They've got to be in their 80s by then. Look at everybody wearing a suit. Front door and balcony of the hospital. This is 1908. Yeah, you can see this guy in a wheelchair. A couple patients up here. And I recognize that brickwork, so this was right next door to the Robinson house, it looks like. So it doesn't say what this building is, but this photo is just from the early 20th century. So Downey, I don't know what that is. Some of the most conspicuous Richmond memorials. Yeah, Washington, Lee. There's the pyramid over there, Hollywood Cemetery. The Soldiers' Home down here. Jewish Cemetery. Right here, see a little right of center, you can see it looks like the Robinson building we're in, behind the trees, and to the left, again, residential buildings it looks like. And there's the entrance up there. Okay, so this is July 5th, 1887. On the left, July 1885, visit by R.E. Lee Camp. Number 1, Confederate veterans to Seward Post. And on the right, Union veterans reciprocal visit to Richmond the following October. Auburn, New York, looks like. A Union veterans group from New Jersey published a detailed account of its 1884 visit to Richmond. Yank and Rib. Pretty nice gardens off to the side. Yeah, the porch, right-hand side. And this is 1914. We've got a register over here. May 15th, 1914. Oh, somebody drew a picture. This is one of approximately 200 chairs that stood in the mess hall. And this is circa 1900. It was restored 1957. So late summer 1885, soldier home residents gathered to welcome little Sorrel. Like I say, he died here the following year. Oh, he's missing a leg. Got some serious beards. 1937, posing here with the stuffed little Sorrel is John Wesley, Jack Blizzard. He was a courier to Stonewall Jackson. Okay, there they are, shipping them away, being taken to VMI. 1886, solicitation pamphlet. It sought loans and gifts to the New Soldiers Home Museum. Right here it says Old South met New South in 1910, when the Sternest Company provided motor car rides for soldier home residents. John Edward Graves served as a commandant between 1907 and 1915, enjoying a pipe on the porch of Stewart Cottage. He's got a serious game of checkers going on. This guy looks pretty interested. But this is John Lewis Fink and Sidney Jennings Robertson, 1927. So we've got a pay roster right here. And pay per month, a surgeon $75, quartermaster just $10, storekeeper $18, a laundress $12, two watchmen says $70, a wagon driver's only $5, a coal weigher $3. Interesting. This is out of Harper's Weekly, November 13th, 1886, and it looks like they're distributing some tobacco rations. This guy's token up. I don't know what he's doing, biting on it. Yeah, twist right there. So we've got a gathering right here, 1929. Getting down. Oh yeah, they've got musicians playing. Looks like this letter was written November 12th, 1904. Oh. It's from Benjamin J. Rogers, a resident here. Dear Anna. I think that says Anna. That must be a loved one. All right, let's see what's back here. All right, so this would be the back of the house, it looks like. And another write-up right here. It's just that picture again from 1880. Maybe this wraps around. Just there in the bathroom, so you know.
There you go. That's it for the Robinson House. So, hope you learned a few things. Yeah, so I'm going to hit the road. As always, guys, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.